Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Data Plus Women Zurich. We will have like a very short introduction. Then Natalie will introduce Sonja, and we will let Sonja do Marvel and present talk. And we will have at the end like a Q&A, so please feel free to use the Q&A section to ask any question or just say hello using the chat. So what is the Data Plus Women event? Data Plus Women is a celebration of women working with or around data. It is our goal to make these women visible and also to create like a place to learn and to network. Everyone is always welcome to join, but only women can speak. Maybe we will do an exception from time to time, but that's our rule. And like I said, you can please use the Q&A for question and use the DM. So the team is very small. It's just Natalie and myself. And yes, a slide about me. Yeah, my passion in life are Tableau, data visualization, enablement, cooking, walking in the forest, and traveling. I don't have a job, so if you need someone like me, please reach out to me. Here are like my blog post on my Twitter account. I'm also available on LinkedIn. And then I will let Natalie introduce herself on the next slide and take over. Thank you.
Yes, this is me. I'm a freelancer. I do data visualization as well, and trainer and teaching that I love. I love doing data visualization, especially on for the R1Vs. That's my big pieces of the year, so I can't wait to be in October somewhere, I hope. And yes, Nathalie. Then I do it. Okay. So about this event, well, you just have to relax. The event, as you know, is recorded. So if you say, it's going to be recorded. We will email you the materials and the links of the recording, and you can follow us on social media and Data Zurich. And for this event, you had to register in Bevy so to receive notification for our next event. So I think we're almost all set up for today, where we are really excited to have Sonja today, our data muse. She's a data illustrator and founder at Studio TERP based in Netherlands. She has a background in landscape, and she collaborates with top clients as Scientific American, Philips, and Dutch government, and so on. You have all the information on our website, studiotep.nl. She received the Gold Award of Information is Beautiful for View on Despair, and she really well known for her love of experimenting with shape and the style, where she blends data with always a human approach, and where she can create data stories that inform the mind and just move and connect to the earth. And a little special touch in this introduction. While you don't know Sonja, but I presented you this for the mascara vis, which was longlisted at the Information is Beautiful. Well, that was part of my class for the past few years. Not this year, but the past few years, you were here with mascara, and that was a pleasure to introduce you every year to the students. So I can't wait to see your next work to bring as well back into my classes. So I can't wait to hear your talk and connect with what you want to share with us today.
Thank you. So the floor is mine then.
Absolutely. Let
Absolutely.
me stop sharing.
Hi all. Yeah, before I start sharing my screen, firstly, I want to share with you that I've been suffering from brain fog a lot lately. And therefore, I will be reading straight from my notes up here. I would love to be able to present without them, but I don't want to be completely lost in words in the middle of a sentence. I will be sharing the links to the blogs that I mentioned I was sharing in the chat afterwards. Please do remind me, Annabelle, if I forget. I also have another disclaimer for you. I tend to overshare. I often talk about personal things that others might consider private or taboo. I'm aware that, especially when I'm nervous, I try to release my stress by making silly jokes, which can make others uncomfortable. But I cannot not be me, and believe me, I've tried. There are just things that I care about, that I want to share and discuss, especially when it comes to things that come with being a woman in this world. So, okay, let's start. Share screen. Yes, here we go. Window. This is it. Share. Where is it? Stop sharing. And again. Let's try again.
That happens all the time, don't worry.
Yeah, we tried it just a minute ago. Okay. I'm clicking the right one. Yeah. Here we go. Full screen mode. Yes. So, why recalibrate? Well, it is something we all need to do from time to time, even if it's not planned, when it's not that obvious that we were doing it. Things happen. We are thrown out of balance. We change our thoughts. Our feelings change. In our field of dataviz, there have been worries on where to go with our skills, how to innovate, how to experiment. And even bigger, climate change, political change, uncertainty. How do we handle it? Sorry, I do not have an answer. I'm trying to find my own way as well. Oh, this is not happening. Okay. Yes, hi all. I'm Sonja Kuijpers, also known under the name Studio TERP, and I will be showing you some of my past work. Not very elaborate though, because I've talked about these before and I just don't like repeating myself. In the second part, I will sort of show and tell you my whereabouts of the last few years by means of a line graph. And after that, I will share my thoughts about the future of my career and a tiny bit on dataviz as a whole. I'm not here to preach about how to create dataviz or data art. There's already a lot out there to take in, and I think it is very individual how to go about. It depends on your interests, your own skills, your own goals. I probably will raise more questions than I'll be able to answer when you ask me for advice. But I'm always open to have a chat when you find yourself at a crossroad. So, starting with the glory days. I began in dataviz earlier than I myself even knew, looking back at my design academy years and after that at a landscape design firm. I had a preference for the stages of analysis, collecting, and research. I'll be sharing some of my past projects, which you possibly have seen before, and if you would like to know more about one, please do ask me in the Q&A. So it wasn't long after I had to leave my job in landscape design. The crisis was going on, and a lot of jobs were lost back in the days. But I designed this table setting. It was for a design competition, and I didn't win. But what did happen after...
Excuse me, Sonja. Sorry, we just see like the first, the title, the Recalibrate slide.
Still, oh
yes.
well, I had this thing happening before? Why?
I was thinking that it was just on my side, but just Bethany just
Okay.
that it's not. So here we still see like all tool, edit, convert, e-sign. We don't see like the full screen mode.
That's weird. Stop sharing.
Yeah, let's redo it again. Don't
Yep,
worry.
yep.
I can even cut this part on the recording.
Share screen. What is the thing? Entire screen. Maybe I'll share the entire screen then. This one. Yeah. So now I'll go. I hopefully go to my slides over here.
Yes.
Yes. Now,
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it's going. Okay, so yeah, this is my introduction. Glory days. Here we go. This is the table setting I was talking about. I designed this like sort of gym room with all the colored lines, how you set your table. So I designed this. I didn't win, but what did happen was that the publisher Taschen asked me if they could use my design for the cover of their infographics book on food and drinks. So that was a big yay after a disappointing thing. When I did find out that there was something called data visualization, I got very enthusiastic. I wanted to learn everything, but I only know how to create illustrations with Adobe, so I worked within my limitations. I did try to learn code, but it just doesn't fit in my brain somehow. What you see here is the data of the weather in Eindhoven. It's my city, year-round of temperatures, rain, and wind speeds. It was a visualization that got attention from several people in the field, and it was sort of the starting point of my career in dataviz. So I started reading and reading and reading all about the basics of dataviz and the aligning subjects such as statistics as well. After some small projects, I got the opportunity to work on a very big one. I got to design 3 pages full of data vizes on the composer Wagner and the Bayreuther Festspiele, which is held in Deutschland every year. There were different sets of data, and I had a lot of design freedom, which was a very great experience. So here you see one of the pages. The comics were drawn by, can't remember his name, but what was very coincidental was that he created the drawings and I created the vizes, and somehow the colors matched up to each other. That was a great thing to see. Yeah, as you were saying, what I love doing is making my own projects. These are the projects where data viz becomes more data art. For example, with my mascara project. I had several categories within this mascara, the characteristics of the mascara that I combined in a symbol. So you see the 7 characteristics pointing to the collage in the middle. And all the black mascaras that I found on a web shop are in this illustration, each with their own characteristics and grouped by their name. Like the big circle is the regular blacks, and then you have ultra black, very black, excessive black, etc. But even when I receive an assignment, I try to shift to data art somehow. I puzzle, I sketch, I bend the rules to make the outcome just that much more interesting to look at. This year, for instance, is a viz for Scientific American on carbon taxes. It's not a very joyful subject, but what I do find in these sorts of projects is I love working on these sorts of puzzles. And with this, especially having someone like Jen Christiansen at the steering wheel, that is such a great working environment. This one was for Popular Science. It's on data on birth rates. What I did to make the main graph have a sort of extra dimension is that instead of a plain line chart, it could have been a plain line chart here. I also let the data have a size. So each year, the birth rate each year also was visualized as a circle. So when putting this on this line chart, these lines did become some sort of tubes. So there's an extra movement of the data here. Well, here's Greta. She's very much in the news these days again. I hope she's doing okay considering the circumstances. I hope she will continue the fight. She's holding her climate book, for which I redesigned the graphs. And by redesign, I mean there were a lot of essays by researchers in this book, and a lot of them had graphs to represent their research. But if you ever saw a scientific paper, you sort of know that it wasn't really ready for a bigger public. So my job was to make sure that everything was readable, styled in the same way, and also comprehensible. I know I'm talking more on the visual aspect of my work, but I still want to have this warning up before the next project, which is A View in Despair on suicide numbers. It might trigger emotions that don't feel well. So if you think you might not handle it at the moment, I ask you to turn off your sound maybe, or turn away for a while, so you won't hear me explain the project. Yes, when talking about data art, I guess this is the ultimate project for me in that sense. For those who know this project, like I said before, I'm a bit done with talking about it, to be honest. So it's not that I don't find it important. Attention to this subject is still very needed. But as I said, I don't like to be repetitive in my talks. If you do want to know more, you have a look at the project page which I'll share after this talk. So I just want to share that the landscape you're looking at right now is built from elements that represent people that have committed suicide. The data is from the Netherlands of 2017. I wanted to create a data visualization that wasn't scary. It had some respect for the people involved, not just the people represented, but also relatives that might have a look. So I wanted this image to raise the question: what is it that I'm looking at? And this is the data what you're looking at least a part of it. I'm just showing this example of the trees. The trees represent the people who hang themselves. So different trees for the different age groups. So and in the landscape, as you saw, there were buildings, lights, waves, clouds, and more, and they all represent a method of suicide. And in this presentation, the data was also categorized by the genders men and women. So I made these two panels so you can compare the sizes of the data between these two gender. While in the suicide project, the shapes were metaphorical, there's even a step up for me in the sense of creating data art. And that is what I did here. Seemingly random drawn shapes from instinctually reacting to the subjects, which are the characters in this book, The Hotel New Hampshire by John Irving. So I just started drawing with this character in my mind, and these shapes came out. Each shape represents the character. The size depends on the amount of occurrence in a chapter. The dots attached to the shapes are the amount of words spoken by that character. There are 12 chapters in the book, and I manually retracted the data from the book and created a panel for each chapter. Yeah, I sketch a lot. Not that elaborate. I don't even use color that often. Just scribble with a pen, because yeah, I do need to come from this is how it would look like in a bar chart to what if I put the data in circles, or how can I show relations between categories and such. I cannot emphasize enough to do this yourself. It will help you, think faster, get a better hold on what the data and holds. So why was that part called the glory days and this part the not so glory days? I look back at what I achieved as a data illustrator. There were difficult parts, but even with a project on suicide numbers, I did something that I am still proud of, which is, as I got the introduction mentioned, I won an Information is Beautiful award with that. So even at my lowest points from a severe depression, something good came about. Plus, yeah, all the neat visualizations I got to create. I just love to create with data. But yeah, as you see here, or as I'm mentioning here, it's not all glamorous. There were also clients who were not satisfied. Sometimes the plug was pulled out even when I was over halfway in the project. So some slides here. Nah, that is not what we expected our data to look like, which wasn't my fault. They just hadn't enough data points. Anyway, I really love it, but the editor wants something more simple. Yeah, maybe I'm going over top, but at least I tried, right? And the plain simple, we decided not to go ahead with the project this year. And then there are still these personal struggles. How to run your freelance company when shit hits the fan. My depression took me a long time to get through. I'm not even sure if it's done yet. Yeah, I think it's done. It took time to get treatment and therapy, and then a long trajectory to get back on my feet. So, of course, in the meantime, I created a daily illustration on my mats as well. And how am I feeling these days? To get a better grip on how I am these days, what I feel, how to move forward, I also poured some personal data into a graph. Why? Because all my life I've been searching where I fit in, what can explain why I most of the time feel like an elephant in a china shop. All this sadness and this big scared kid inside. I search for definitions, for labels, which explain why I do the things I do in a, to me, often messed up way. And as for dataviz, we do love them labels, right? That's our job. That's an important part of our job. Labeling to make the data comprehensive. There is satisfaction in this, relaxation, when we know what is what. That brings certainty. But that is exactly what is misleading as well, because is it certain? Do we know if the data is encompassing all? What about the non-availables, the deviations, the minorities? Are averages telling the correct story? Because no human is the same. Circumstances are never the exact same. Experiences are never exactly the same. Hopefully I'm not going to offend someone with my way of putting things. I know I can be rather oblivious to certain language around identity. I'm trying to catch up with all the terminology. So sorry in advance if in my rusty ways I use a word that is not okay. Please tell me if I can do better. So, yeah, I recently read a blog by Arthur Andrews. He wrote about text as a viz. It's called data micrography. Micrography. I'm the emphasis is wrong. I will put the link in. And I like this concept very much. So I used it to create my graph. It means that the data is the text, or the other way around. Anyway, you see here a graph titled Sonja is, question mark. It is a graph on the labels that I identify with. I will show them separately in the next slides to explain the directions of the lines. The y-axis represents the level of identification. So am I maximum identifying myself with it, neutral or minimal? And then the x-axis shows my age and the corresponding years. So as you see, I was born in 1974. Maybe you can see my t-shirt as well here. I put this on purpose. So here we go. Sonja is white. Yeah, I'm a white person. I descend from a very Dutch family going back centuries of white folks. Thing with this label is it's at max, and this will never change. This label, as we all know, brings privileges with it. I never did something to earn these privileges, and I'm very aware that there are people who are misusing this label to hurt others. Sonja is female. Another label I was born with, even before I was born, I was already defined as such. Thing is, after my toddler years, or as far as I can remember, I didn't feel feminine. I got dressed as such, and I hated that. I had big fights over the years with my mother over it. I didn't want to put on dresses. And I couldn't really understand the way I was supposed to play and act. Oftentimes, I would rather have been a boy. But I grew up in a conservative environment where too much deviation from the norm wasn't appreciated. Plus, I lived in a small village. My world was small. I didn't know any better. And on top of it, I became a victim of bullying in school. So I had a hard time trying to fit in. There I was, looking like a boy. I felt more comfortable hanging and playing with boys. People often mistook me for a boy. I got harassed for it, and that continued way into my 20s. What I want to show here is that labels are a construct because the way I felt about myself didn't always align with how others saw me, how society wanted to label me. That is why the brighter pink line illustrates how feminine I felt, and the softer pink shows how I think how feminine I was perceived. And this has been an almost constant recalibrating of this label for myself as well as others. And although I do identify as female and I'm comfortable with my body in this sense, I still feel this label is not truly fitting. What does guide these days in perception is the way I look, because you cannot not see my breasts. It was a problem when I was maturing because they weren't there yet. So yeah, there was something strange about being seen as a boy, because sometimes I like that feeling, but yeah, having the bullying and people being mean, that wasn't nice. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about this. As far as I've written down. So I'm gay. And you may ask yourself, why is this line shaped like this? I didn't know I was gay before my 17th, and it was pretty much like I'm like I write here. From the moment that I kissed a girl, I knew that I liked women. Everything fell into place. Not that it was a party or from then on, but I felt that this is how it was supposed to be. So that's the straight line going up in the beginning. Anyone now wondering why the line moves up beyond max in the end? Yeah, well, don't get me started. I just cannot express how hurt and pissed I feel about current politics. Western countries all seem to go back in time considering rights and acceptance. I was never loud about my queerness, but I don't want our kids to have such a bleak future when it comes to the inequality that is preached these days. I have CPTSD, and this stands for Complex Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. For the ones who don't know what that is, it is trauma that arises not after an incident, like an accident or yeah, well, like an accident, but after enduring neglect or abuse for a longer time. It is something that I can label as such for myself now after all therapy and grieving my childhood. And when you read into my project on suicide numbers, A View in Despair, you will get more insight into the whys. So I found out about this label in recent years, but I know I have been coping in survival mode for the most years of my life. The weight of it is luckily getting less. I am in perimenopause, and this sucks big time. As I said in my introduction, this brain fog is really messing me up. My body and my mind do things I cannot get a hold on. Then emotions are following the same unpredictable route. I had a year, last year, I had a year of not being able to walk properly due to pain in my feet, numerous doctor visits without a solution. I found the answer that I was expecting because I also read a lot on it. So I was probably experiencing symptoms of perimenopause, and looking back, I was suffering from symptoms way before this happened. This is a shout out to all women here or here, especially when you are somewhere in your 40s. Take this very seriously. I mean this. You might not think that you are in perimenopause, but if you feel more depressed, unmotivated, lose interest, don't sleep well, or have other questionable experience, go check the list of symptoms. You are not going crazy. You have your biology screwing you up, and you might want to get some help. Even if your periods are on schedule, it doesn't mean it hasn't started yet. So, okay. Next up, I have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. A lot of self-reflection, a relationship not going great, the why can't I just be better at planning, and a lot of other why can't I just, plus the bells that started ringing while reading into neurodiversity. I talked with several people as how they saw me, and I decided to go get a professional opinion. I was on a waiting list for a year, and then I got tested in December last year. Turns out I have the combined type of ADHD, which means hyperactive mixed with inattentive, like so many women do. And of course, looking back, I was that quirky girl staring out of the school window, collecting and drawing butterflies, seeing butterflies everywhere, pointing minis out. I was sensitive for moods, quickly overwhelmed. I was called oversensitive a lot. And sure, as a true ADHD person, I now realize I've been putting this presentation together last minute. That is how I roll, apparently. And right, so this is the devil. I am experiencing the perfect storm, so to say. And this is what is also known more recently. Researchers in this appearing. Women get diagnosed with ADHD later in life, at my age more often. I've just turned 51. Because menopause screws with your hormones, and all symptoms of ADHD get more severe and can't be masked anymore. So, yay! And what I wanted to show with this is the forced rigidness of it all. There's not much room for uncertainty. We all want to know where, how we belong. There are structures, a society with rules. We need the guidance of how we are supposed to live together. There is no linearity in my life, nor yours. Things happen. We are thrown out of balance. We change our thoughts, our feelings change. And like I said, bigger climate change, political change. There is constant recalibration needed in the big lines as well as in the details. Call it editing, call it feedback, call it trial and error. I can change certain things, but others not. In the end, I'm still Sonja. One thing that I'm still sure of is that I'm a data illustrator. But what to do next then? I posted on LinkedIn about this talk, and my ex pointed out to me that I made a typo, hell instead of tell. So could this be that my unconsciousness wants to show me something? I really hope not. Well, not this. I thought about talking on what Moritz Stefaner and Shirley Wu have been blogging about, the state of dataviz at this moment. They see that we as creatives in dataviz are at a plateau. Where are we heading with our field? Are we becoming redundant with AI breathing in our necks? There are others who have replied to the blogs of Moritz and Shirley, like Jonathan Swabich, who is telling us that experimentation and innovation is still happening, but that we have to look in different ways and in different places. I have all sort of thoughts on it, and these change by the day, maybe, probably. But I do not have enough knowledge of the field. I think for me, it will take a while before I can have a better view on my directory again. I could say my glory days are done, considering dataviz. I feel the plateau, and I need more time physically to get back in there. Motivation is something I am waiting for to get back. I do know I will get it back because I still feel a fire burning underneath. I just need to recalibrate. What I also feel, and I think it's not talked about enough, we all have to present ourselves like we already made it, or be a bit of how do you say that, nuchter, like, yeah, well, I don't care that much, but uh, I do feel this under struggle between ego and purpose. Yes, I like to be in the spotlight. Yes, it would be great if I would win more awards. But in the end, what does that mean? Does it add more joy, more fun to my work? I haven't really gotten more commissions because of it. That glitter and glamour doesn't mean you get to lean back and just wait for people to come by. Yeah, and purpose, how to find that. What is my part in this world? What can I add for the better with my skill set? One thing I know, um, I do not wish to be polite anymore. In my opinion, we in the field of dataviz shouldn't keep our mouths shut about the injustices in our world. Science is under siege, the diversity and trustworthiness in our data is disappearing. I stand with trans people and I stand with the people of Gaza. Now, well, this is maybe something menopause is good for after all. I do not care that much anymore about other people's opinions. I'm tired of masking and of playing nice. I am intending to use my skills in dataviz more in this direction. Stand up for minorities, for a better life on this planet, for people who are ridiculed, bullied, neglected, and or harmed. Um, if you see in the right corner, you see a little small word sneak peek. I wasn't sure if I should put in the next slide because once it's out there, will I be held accountable for the next steps? And is that something that I can live up to? I'm not sure. But I wanted to let you know that I'm not done. Although I do feel like a dinosaur, I'm sure there are people among the public that are creating gorgeous projects as we speak, and maybe it is time for me to move over. I don't know. Um, this is something I'm working on now, and it's all I will say about it. I will not talk about this in public. You are looking at an element of a large project, and as you can see, it's not a straightforward dataviz shape. I promise more data art from me in the future. I'm not sure though when or how. And although I'm a bit done with labels, if I could add one more to my collection, I hope it will be this. And with this, I am ending my talk. Hope to discuss what I brought up and hope, yeah, maybe you have questions for me. I will be putting in the links of the blogs and putting in where you can find me uh, on social media. So I'm gonna stop sharing now.
Thank you very much, Sonja. That was very, very cool. I ask our audience to put some question for you in the Q&A. We will wait for that. Uh, I was yeah, I really love your presentation. You said that you put that at the last minute. I wish I can put like this kind of presentation on the last minute. It's very, very cool. And I really love like the way you present yourself with the different graph and everything. And yes, I think that we should have a talk together because definitely I have like some similar experience than you. I have a question waiting for other question in the chat. How do you maybe you can share how do you select the color? I'm always struggling to select like a good color combination. Maybe you can share with our audience for one project in particular. You don't have to go to all your projects.
Yeah, well, yeah, that makes me curious now because I never heard from a client or from something that I created that I had chosen wrong colors. Um, I don't know. But yeah, well, this is the thing. I come from a design background. I have been taught in colors, the way you use colors, and that is where maybe, yeah, I've learned a lot about it, but to me, it still feels more like intuition to me personally. I must say, when I start a project, I create a board with inspirational images. Could be anything from fashion to um, art, photography, you name it. And often I just pick colors from these images, which then, of course, they get edited, because the difficulty in our field is the how do you say that, to have the right balance, because we could pick colors beforehand, but then something turns out way bigger than expected, and then, yeah, your balance is off. So it's always, yeah, trying to find which color goes best. And that's maybe the only advice I can give. Just, yeah, try, yeah, make a mood board, pick from there, and see if it fits with the data. Yeah, I hope that answers a bit what you.
Yes, of course. Do you want to take some question, Natalie? We have one in
Yes,
the chat.
Sonja, thank you very much for your presentation. It was, I think it resonates for a lot of women. And this is saying what everyone's thinking, but nobody kind of taking the courage to say it. So thank you for that. And we can see that a lot of your project, your personal project, are on the social fight, or I would say fight, because I think we need to always stand up for the ideas and the peoples and the things. So I think my question, well, before asking my question, I have something else to say. Is I think the good news in all of that is, if we look at the curve of happiness, we are at the bottom of it now, and normally it should go up. No.
Hmm.
And I think this is something that was presented earlier on the view of despair as well. And my question would be, on all your project, what is the one that looks like more, or that take more the knowledge from your background in landscape designing?
Um, well, maybe it's because the experience I have with layout and presentation a lot there. It's also the way I've been schooled, but I think the way in landscaping, it's a project goes from here's this location we want to build here. We want the environment to look nice, have the water go that way. What problems like parking always there, and so you have to go visit that site and analyze what is there already. What are the great views? What are the routes? What are the public transport? What is there? Things like that. You have layers and layers and layers of information, even underground, because yeah, you cannot just put a tree somewhere when there's sewage going, stuff like that. So
So
Yeah,
the multiple layer that you bring is what you think you bring from this background, and this is what we
yeah,
can see with your labeling. You show the labeling. This is a finished state, and then you show us all the different layer that
yeah.
came into the view. So yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Thank you for your answer. I think we have a question in
Yeah,
um, I don't know if you can read
yeah. I
the
read it.
chat,
Yeah,
or Maggie, you can comment on it, or
yeah, yeah. Hi,
you,
Michiel. Yeah, that's that's some question.
yeah.
Uh, Less experimentation. I think it's also AI that's at play here, because I think, to me personally, I feel a bit thrown out of the field with all going on. So where do we stand? Where do I fit? Yeah, are there companies looking for me still? I'm not sure. It's been less. Data feminism, yeah, it's been talked about for maybe 10 years now, or I'm not sure when the book came out by Lauren and what's the other writer again? Yeah, and of course, there's this other book. Names, right? But yeah, there've been researches, there've been books, and I guess it's not that much, yeah, free will in how we go about it, because we are challenged. Um, and as you're saying, the current political climate, it's not fun. It's not good for us as women or any other group of people who are, yeah, treated as a subject, an object. And yeah, so is it a reaction? Yes, of course it's a reaction. There's lots of things going wrong, and um, where do we look? Yeah, maybe that's it. Me myself, I'm trying to yeah, do better things with what I can do. So I'm reaching out to small companies or institutions that are doing good for other people. If I can help them with their annual stuff like that, small things. But I do know that they don't have the money, so yeah, I want to help out. And yeah, I cannot speak for all of us, because, as you might also have noticed, in my opinion, yeah, and as I see it, there's lots of voices are quiet. There's not much communication on these things. I know that outliers going on right now, and last week there was this conference in Sweden. No, Norway. Where was it? Finland. And we are talking about what we can do with dataviz in a more technical way, I guess. But to me, yeah, I think we need to step up to make dataviz again. I guess like W.E.B. Du Bois did with his yeah, project back in the days, showed that there's data that is overlooked, show that data is people, things like that. I'm not sure if I'm answering.
It was a very difficult question, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that indeed, like data visualization help people to bring awareness on certain topic, because you can be attracted by a visualization and you say, "What is this about?" and then dig up and realize that you want to protest against something. So I think that's a good usage for it. But yes, it was a very difficult question. I put the reference of the book, and Michelle also
Oh.
like put the data feminist if people wants to buy it. We have another question from Bethany. She says, your sketch looks so skillful. My brain never thinks sketch before building dataviz, and my mind boggles at the process that I can picture it before struggling through it. How do you start to bridge the gap between what you want it to look like and how you make your tools and technology comply? You can take 1 minute
Yeah.
to think about it.
Yeah, tricky one. For me, I work from, I think, from left to right and from right to left. Sometimes I have this data and I want to create something, and sometimes I know I want a subject to be out there, and I have to collect the data. So as I've mentioned, I just know this tool, Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. Yeah, I can do a bit of Excel. I can do a bit of other things. No code. And yeah, you might have seen this presentation. I did some things in there, the Glory Days slide. That was something new to me, but I was very happy to do that. These bubbly letters. You can do that in Illustrator. You can do so many and probably in other programs as well. So yeah, just try out things and see if it works. To me personally, when I have the data, when I did my sketches, when I have an idea on how I want the story to look like, I almost never deviate from the first idea that I have in my head. And yeah, I must admit that I do this with clients as well. I just push and push in the hope that they see what I am intending to do there. And I'm lucky that most of the time it works out the way I intended. But yeah, that probably comes with experience, right? When you know certain things on how to rotate things in Illustrator, yeah, how to import the data from another place, stuff like that. You get more knowledge, and if you don't know, Google, YouTube videos, yeah, platforms where questions are answered, stuff like that. And I didn't, yeah, I haven't done this before. I might say I do question. I do bring on questions on other things to people in our field, but you might as well ask someone how you do a certain thing. I know you can, yeah. People are always eager to help you out. That's good on their ego. It's good on their self, on their well-being. I mean, to help others. It's in our nature to help others. So don't be afraid to reach out. That's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah.
And maybe also you modify your sketch with real data. Maybe you could start with like an idea, but then you are you see the data and the data doesn't you cannot realize your idea, and you have to modify the sketch with real data.
Recalibrate.
Recalibrate, exactly. Natalie, do you have any other question?
No, not on my side. No. Let me share again the screen. Again, thank you very much for your presentation. Thanks all of you for coming to this presentation. And of course, if you would like to speak, just contact us. This year, we're making it special to data art. So please feel free to join. And I'm sure, yes, there is a LinkedIn of Sonja, so we can still contact her and ask her more questions if you want. Thank you very much, Sonja.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone, and see you in 2 or 3 months. We will have our next speaker for September. She's just confirmed.